Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stacy Scott, and I'm here with Graham Wickham, President and CEO of Wickham Financial and Insurance Services. And we're back with you this afternoon with our weekly wrap-up. Now, Graham, we had a pretty down week last week. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it was down. I think that probably describes most of it. Yeah, it was a real swoosh down in the market last week, a real precipice of a high mark of just pure negative sentiment just across the board. You know, last Thursday marked the fifth time in the previous 7 days that more than 90% of S&P stocks declined. And we got to go back to 1928 to have similar periods. You know, why? What is the catalyst to this? I think you really saw central banks around the globe really start to address interest rates. Raising rates, the Swiss National Bank raised interest rates 50 basis points for the first time in 15 years. The Federal Reserve in the United States raised 3/4. So that was a big move comparatively. We have to go back to 1994 on that. So you really saw a real flush, if you might, in the market. The NASDAQ was down 7.5%. The S&P, that was the Russell 2000, that was down 7.5. You saw the S&P and the NASDAQ off 4.75 and 5.75. But I really think what was the hallmark here of what kind of went on last week is you really saw the commodities, the oil really sell off. That plunged 17%. Materials was off 8%. Now wait for it. Bitcoin crashed 30-odd%. So we just saw a real collapse across the board in many different sectors and a real flush in the market.
Do you think that this is setting us up for a bounce?
You know, I really do. I think it does. Anytime you're in a bear market, which we're certainly in, arguably a recession, we'll just have to see, you always get these rallies. We are extremely oversold in anything that you look at, from pessimism to certain sentiment numbers and so on and so forth. So yeah, I would not be surprised that we have a pretty good bounce here. You know, does it have a lot of legs for the long term? You know, I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see when we get the inflation numbers in July if inflation's really topped out. Now, I think if inflation shows that it's topping out and starting to roll over, maybe starting to come down on certain sides, I think that will propel this market even further. If not, could bring us down a bit further.
Well, do you think that we should be concerned about going back down again after the bounce?
Well, I think you do. I think it goes back to that inflation number that I mentioned. If we do not get the inflation numbers, meaning maybe topping out or rolling over, you know, I think that's really going to be the linchpin to this market's continued rally is inflation. If we can see that top out and roll over, I know that I've said that multiple times. I think that if we can see that, I think that might be enough for this market to continue to rally. Are we going to go back to the old highs? Not necessarily. That's not where I'm going at. But we could be talking about some pretty big rally, especially in the high growth area that has sold off the most.
Okay. Well, does all this drama in the market present any opportunities for buying?
Absolutely. Across the board. I mean, again, what we said to our viewers and our clients from time and time again, you know, focus on quality, have a great diversified portfolio, put time on your side, and this too shall pass. So absolutely focus on a high quality companies that are profitable, maybe pay a dividend, have strong share buybacks, make sure the valuations are in place for them, and focus on that. Add to that. We look out a year, a couple years from now, heck, we're going to be talking about something else. This will be in the rearview mirror. But yes, this is presenting tremendous opportunities for people that have some time on their side.
Okay, well, I like that silver lining. Okay, thank you, Graham, for that information. And thank you to our viewers for joining us today. We will be looking forward to seeing you guys again next week for our weekly wrap up. And in the meantime, have a great week. Thanks so much.
Take care.